At this moment, the headquarters of Longya capital. While tasting his 82-year-old Lafite, the Dragon King Zhao Tian carefully imagined the future. Although, he sent hundreds of elites, but in the end, they all fell to the ground. Although, 20 jobs, 19 jobs have all flown. Although, many people were injured and hospitalized in order to compete for the final cleaning position. Although, he was beaten again and again, but the key is this. But the post of cleaning has finally been won. He didn't believe that a non-martialist could lift a 50-pound bucket with one hand for more than a minute. And people who practice martial arts have good financial resources, who would be a bitter cleaner. The process was a bit twisty, but the ending was beautiful. He gently shook the grapes and wine in his hand, and said contentedly, "Don't look at the position of cleaning as ordinary. There is no technical content, but this position is the most suitable. Because this position can be in and out of major offices, and can be haunted. In every corner and place, inquire about the enemy's situation anytime, anywhere. And the identity is hidden, and it is not easy to be discovered. It's like a poisonous snake hiding in the dark, staring in 6 directions and listening in all directions, opening its fangs anytime, anywhere. Dangerous and deadly." Dragon King Yingming, the men in black said in unison. Dragon King Zhao Tian turned to look at the time. "It's almost time, is the interview over yet?" The man in black replied. "Back to the Dragon King, the interview has just ended." Dragon King Zhao Tian took a sip of the wine and said, "How is it? Have you won this cleaning position? Although I already know the result, please tell me again." The man in black. "This. Stop selling it. Speak louder and make me happy." The man in black said loudly, "Back to the Dragon King, no." Dragon King Zhao Tian. PFF'd. The same man in black was sprayed with blood. Dragon King Zhao Tianshan had to drop his wine glass. "TMD again, do you have it or not?" The man in black said weakly, "Wei Longwang, no." Dragon King Zhao Tian was furious. "Why is there no more? The duck that was cooked, you told me it flew away?" The man in black said weakly, "Dragon King, please calm your anger. It was basically taken, but who knew that Cheng Yaojin was killed halfway, and he raised a 50-pound bucket with one hand and stood for 2 minutes, cleaning the post. It was stolen by him." Dragon King Zhao Tian was even more angry. F*K. How can there be such a person? The man in black smiled bitterly. "Although my subordinates don't believe it, this is indeed the case." Zhao Tian's eyes are on fire. So many people were arranged to apply for jobs, and half of them were admitted to the hospital, but they couldn't get a job. He seemed to see Lin Baifan's silent mocking face, and was so angry that he wanted to kill. Now, he desperately needs to vent. So he said angrily, "Who is it? Who stole my cleaning?" The man in black said loudly, "King Hulong, a young man named Angkor." Angkor? Zhao Tian frowned, feeling that the name was a bit familiar and reminded of a person in his previous life. "But I think it's unlikely. How could that person apply for a job as a cleaner? Is there a picture of him?" "Yes. Dragon King, please see." Zhao Tian picked up the phone, looked at the photos on the phone, and murmured, "It's actually him." He knew that this person was a powerful tomb robber. The skill is not bad, only 2 chips worse than him, and the level is equivalent to his family's 8, Donkey Kong. However, the opponent's most powerful ability is the ability to rob tombs and dig treasures and see feng shui. No matter what dangerous tombs are, they dare to break into it, just like going home. 10 points is amazing. Only later offended Lin Baifan and was repeatedly sent to prison by Lin Baifan. "It's been in it all my life, it's very miserable. Why can't this guy think about running Lin Baifan's place to work as a cleaner? Is it because he likes the antique treasures of Lin Baifan's house?" He could only think about it. After all, the other party is a master of tomb robbers. What else can they do if they don't want this? It's impossible to seek revenge like him, right? After all, the other party has not been reborn, and does not know everything that happened in the previous life. If it's really going to steal treasure, that's great. Anyone who can cause trouble for Lin Baifan is welcome. Lin Baifan's enemy is his friend. The man in black asked, "Dragon King, do you want to send someone to deal with him?" Dragon King Zhao Tian waved his hand. "Don't do it for now, let's see the situation. Keep an eye on this person for me, and if there is any change, report it to me immediately." "Yes, Dragon King. Also, implement an infiltration plan for me. Since our people can't get in, then we'll bribe the people inside and turn their people into ours. I don't believe that someone can resist my banknote ability. Yes, Dragon King. At this time, a man in black poured a glass of red wine over Dragon King. Please. Dragon King Zhao Tian looked at the glass of bright red wine and said with disgust, TMD, take it away. I will never drink 82-year-old Lafite in the future. If you drink it once and hit your face once, this wine is poisonous. On the second day, the protagonist Angkor couldn't wait to work in the company. Xiao Wu. Don't look at the size of our company, there are only less than 100 people, but our company is actually a subsidiary of the Lin Group, mainly responsible for investment. A month ago, our company's investment scale was only about 1 billion yuan. But since Mr. Lin came here, the changes in our place have been the same day by day, and now it has expanded to a scale of 10 billion yuan. It's just because there are more jobs and it's busy again, that's why we're recruiting. While taking Angkor to familiarize yourself with the company's environment, Lu's mother introduced the basic situation of the company. Angkor listened seriously and couldn't help nodding in his heart. Although he has a grudge against Lin Bifan, he has to admire that Lin Bifan does have an amazing talent in investment. In just a few short years, hundreds of millions of funds have been rapidly expanded to several trillion funds, and a super business empire spanning various industries in this country has been created. It's just the beginning, but it's already showing its fangs. Seeing Angkor's serious appearance, Lu Ma's chatterbox was opened. Not only has our company expanded, but everyone's treatment has improved a lot. Even my aunt, who is in charge of cleaning, has doubled her salary. With additional bonuses, my monthly salary has already exceeded 10,000. Can you imagine that my aunt, who is in charge of cleaning, can earn more than 10,000 yuan a month? Giggle. Lu's mother couldn't stop laughing. Moreover, our boss Lin is very considerate to his subordinates and is very good to everyone. If you have any problems in your family and ask him for leave, he will approve it. If someone in the family is sick and hospitalized, he can help them arrange the best hospital and other doctors. Even my old mother is no exception. He saw that I was getting old and tired from work, so he suggested to hire another cleaner to help. That's how you were hired. Angkor nodded again. Although he hates Lin Bifan treats his subordinates and friends very well. Otherwise, there would not be so many women who would give up on him. There will not be so many loyal subordinates. However, if it becomes his enemy, it will be very miserable. Because the other party always kills the enemy, leaving no room for it. Everyone who was targeted by him was quite miserable. For example, when he accidentally offended the other party, he was sent to the prison by the other party and went bankrupt. After that, he came out, and was sent to the prison again and again by the other party, with no room for turning over. He clearly remembered that in the previous life, there were several other equally awesome people who offended the other party this year, and then they were also targeted by the other party. The woman ran away with the family, the brother was gone, and the career was over. One is more miserable than the other. All of this was brought by Mr. Lin, so we are all very grateful to Mr. Lin. So the only thing we can do now is to do our job well and let Mr. Lin worry less. So Xiao Wu, work hard, in order to repay President Lin's kindness, do you understand? Angkor nodded in agreement, but sneered in his heart. Repay? I'm here to get revenge on him. Also, Xiao Wu, don't think that being a cleaner means you won't have a bright future. Our boss Lin attaches great importance to young people, and only talent is the best. As long as you have the ability, he will reuse it, from an ordinary bodyguard, to the sky in one step, to a manager, with an annual salary of 1 million. And there are hundreds of millions of bonuses. I am envious of the dead. Angkor asked casually, who is it? Yi Xingchen, Mr. Yi. Angkor was stunned. Who are you talking about, Mama Lu? His name is Yi Xingchen? Mother Lu nodded. Yes. What does he look like? Yeah. I can't describe what he looks like. Anyway, he looks tough and looks more handsome. By the way, look, his photo is posted there. Looking in the direction of Lu's mother's finger, Angkor saw an enlarged photo hanging on the wall. There are two people in this photo, one of them is Lin Bifan. I saw him wearing a beautiful suit and polished leather shoes, standing upright, with a kind and bright smile on his face, like a successful person. The other person was wearing a rustic security uniform, with a more rustic red flower hanging on his chest, and a huge medal with 1 million written on both hands, smiling like a fool. Angkor was shocked. It's really him, god of war Yi Xingchen. In the previous life, the other party was Lin Baifan's life and death enemy. The woman was snatched by Lin Baifan, the mercenary brothers were imprisoned by Lin Baifan, and he was defeated by Lin Baifan, and he was driven out of the Yan kingdom. How do you get around him now? To become his subordinate? Wouldn't it be the butterfly effect brought about by my rebirth? Mother Lu, can you tell me about Yi Xingchen? Angkor humbly asked. Of course there is no problem. Let me tell you, Mr. Yi is a legend in our company. Lu's mother, Barabara, poured out all Yi Xingchen's great achievements. On the first day of work, he helped Mr. Lin block the stone and made nearly 500 million yuan. From the second day of work, he took the funds given by Mr. Lin and broke into the gold and crude oil markets. In less than a few days, he helped Mr. Lin earn more than 3 billion yuan. After resting for a few days, the return of the king was staged. In less than half a day, he earned more than 4 billion yuan, almost doubling Lin's capital. Now, he has become President Lin's right-hand man, and is highly trusted. Not a brother, but a brother. The more Wu Zhe listened, the more annoyed he became, and at last he was about to breathe fire. I said how Lin Baifan has risen so fast in this life. It turns out that you are a bastard to help. Helping once is not enough, helping several times. In the last life, your sweetheart was taken away by others, your brothers were sent to prison by him, and you were driven out of the Yan kingdom by him, but in this life you will become his lackey. I have never seen such a dog. Angkor was annoyed. What about others now? He wants to find that person now and beat him hard. Lu Ma sighed. A few nights ago, he was beaten by a group of people from unknown sources. Fortunately, Mr. Lin arrived in time, otherwise he would be dead. Now he is covered in injuries and is lying in the hospital for treatment. Angkor clapped his hands. Good fight. Lu Ma was stunned. Huh? I mean, the fight was so bad. How could such a thing happen? Angkor said, angry, silently applauding the group of people who came from unknown sources. Who said it wasn't? Lu Ma sighed again. Without him, we would all make less money. Now, we all miss the days when he was here. At this moment, Lin Baifan suddenly appeared. What are you talking about? Lu Ma quickly said hello. Hello, Mr. Lin. I am bringing Xiao Wu to get acquainted with the environment, and by the way, I talked about Mr. Yi. We are very sympathetic to what happened to him. Angkor said quickly. Yes, we deeply sympathize with what happened to him. Thank you for your concern. Brother Yi. Ah, he's still in the ICU ward. Lin Baifan sighed sadly. What a wonderful person, I don't even understand why he encountered such a thing. Then, he said angrily, it's all those men in black. Don't let me find them, or I'll definitely put them all in jail, and let out this sigh of relief for Brother Yi. This scene fell into Angkor's eyes, and he was even more disdainful of Yi Xingchen. Sure enough, it is a loyal old dog. Otherwise, Lin Baifan wouldn't be so angry. Yes. We must put them in jail. Lu Ma shared the hatred. Then you are familiar with the environment, I will go to work first. Mr. Lin, walk slowly. After getting familiar with the basic environment, Angkor began to work. Under the arrangement of Lu's mother, sweeping, mopping, tidying up tables and chairs, watering green plants, cleaning toilets regularly. These daily tasks are done meticulously. Moreover, as long as others need it, they can come to help right away. Although he is taciturn, he is diligent and hardworking. At the end of the day, it was appreciated by everyone. Even Lin Baifan was full of praise. Xiao Wu, you work really hard, it's right for me to recruit you. Keep this style of work and I'll give you a bonus later. Thank you, Mr. Lin. Angkor bowed his head slightly to prevent the other party from seeing the hatred in his eyes. Then, go out and work hard. By the end of the day, he had become more familiar with the working environment and felt that he could do something. It's time to collect some interest, he said to himself. At the end of the day, seeing the enemy live so well, he felt particularly uncomfortable. If you don't take revenge and go back, you won't have a good idea. How to get revenge? He intends to take revenge from Feng Shui. The reason why he has become a top figure in the tomb robbery world is that there is no disadvantage in finding dragons in caves, and he can exit safely when he encounters dirty things. He completely relies on this top-level Feng Shui secret technique. He dares to say that in terms of feng shui, he ranks second, and no one dares to rank first. Therefore, he intends to take a shot at him in terms of feng shui pattern. By changing the feng shui pattern of the office, the other party can be let down, have a fever, get sick, have bad luck, and encounter disasters. In short, how miserable, how come? Moreover, this method is relatively hidden, so that no one can discover it. Xiao Wu. What are you doing? Mom Lu. I think this cabinet takes up a lot of space here, so I want to move it. Mom Lu. Please, is it much smoother and easier to walk around here? It's true, Xiao Wu. You are so sweet. Xiao Wu. What kind of potted plants are these? I remember that our company doesn't seem to have these. Mother Lu. These are all brought by me. I think this is too empty. There are just a few potted plants here, and the water is placed here. Look at their luscious greenery, don't they look particularly relaxed and comfortable? As soon as you say it, it's true, it's really exquisite. Xiao Wu. What is hanging on the wall? It looks like a copper coin. Mother Lu. This is the copper coin I asked for from the temple, and it has been sold. I heard from the master that as long as this coin is hung on the wall, it will attract wealth, and the business will get better and better. The company will become better. Now, won't our income follow suit? Xiao Wu. You are right, then hang up a little more. In this way, Angkor secretly changed the feng shui pattern of the company. The so-called feng shui is actually not as mysterious as the legends outside. In fact, to put it bluntly, it is by changing the surrounding environment, thereby changing the surrounding qi field, and affecting people. If you are in a good feng shui pattern, then people will feel happier, healthier, and more efficient in doing things, so it is easy to succeed. However, if you are in a bad feng shui pattern, you will be irritable, your physical fitness will become weak, and then you will attract disasters and illnesses. And what he arranged for Lin Bifan was, of course, a bad feng shui pattern, Kaleda. 5 elements leave the fire formation. This is a great formation from the fire created by the power of the 5 elements, which makes the yin and yang energy in the body toss, and the heat surges up. If you stay in this formation for a long time, your body will be hot and dry, the heat will attack your heart, you will be more prone to insomnia and blood loss, your internal organs will be damaged, and your body will eventually be depleted. And the 5 elements fire formation I set up is even more terrifying. Angkor was proud. Because, I adjusted the aura of the formation to Lin Bifan's office, which is equivalent to amplifying the power of the formation several times. Moreover, Lin Bifan's office is air-conditioned, and the temperature is lower than that of Lin Bifan. It is several degrees lower outside. As long as his body is cold, the effect is doubled. In such an environment, in less than an hour, the imbalance of yin and yang in the body will be caused, the heat will rise, and the nosebleed will be mild. Saying that, Angkor has a small and exquisite golden toad in his hand. Now, just put down this golden toad, and the formation will be done. This is the Urai. As long as his mouth is facing which direction, then which direction will attract all the bad auras to pass, thus producing bad influence. Angkor stuffed the golden toad into the potted plant, and then pointed his mouth to Lin Bifan's office. The moment he put it down, he already felt sensitively that his aura had changed. Lin Bifan, will you die? Angkor's eyes were full of hatred. I tell you, this is just interest. I will slowly torture you, and let you lose everything bit by bit. In the end, you will become bankrupt and have nothing. After that, Angkor pretended to sweep the floor and left as if nothing had happened. But at this moment, the door of Lin Bifan's office opened. Lin Bifan beckoned. Xiao Wu, come here. Angkor walked over with a broom, and said with a bewildered face, Mr. Lin, what are you doing to me? Lin Bifan said with a smile, it's like this, I just found that the desks and cabinets in my office are a little dirty, which makes people uncomfortable, so please clean it up. This is his job, Angkor nodded. Okay, no problem. The door is locked, you can go in by yourself, I'll go for a walk outside. After saying that, Lin Bifan folded his hands and walked away like a veteran cadre. Then, Angkor filled a bucket of water and walked into Lin Bifan's office with a clean rag. Feeling the change in the surrounding aura, he took a deep breath. That's the smell. The hot air from the bursts and the cold air from the air conditioner will collide with each other, which will cause the blood in the body to be disordered, resulting in blood loss. I feel like an hour is too much. As long as I stay here for 40 minutes, my body will definitely have problems. Hey, I will lower the temperature of the air conditioner by 2 degrees, and see if you die. Saying that, I immediately lowered the temperature by 2 degrees. Then, started to work. He must hurry up, because the power of this formation is a bit stronger. He must finish labor within half an hour and then leave the room, otherwise there will be problems with his body. At this time, Lin Bifan slipped into Lu Rumei's office. Mr. Lin. Why are you here? Lu Rumei asked while sorting out the documents, without moving her butt. Lin Bifan didn't care. He found a seat nearby and sat down. I'll see you and see if you're busy. Don't worry, with you, the black-hearted boss, I can't be idle as a migrant worker. Lu Rumei glared at the past. Your boss is relaxed, leaving all the work to me. I, the secretary, can't be idle at all. I don't worry about other people, so I can only make you tired. Lin Bifan laughed. Lu Rumei snorted in dissatisfaction, but she was happy in her heart, and she was more motivated to work. Don't you turn on the air conditioner here? Lin Bifan asked again, feeling that it was several degrees hotter here than outside. Lu Rumei glared at him again. It's a pity that you are still a playboy. Don't you know that women's physique is relatively weak and can't stand the cold? In this way, I'm relieved. Lin Bifan nodded. Huh. Don't worry. Nothing. Lin Bifan put his chin on his hands, and while admiring Lu Rumei's serious work, he silently made a wish. I make a wish. In the next hour, my body temperature will drop by 3 degrees, and I will be locked in the room and can't get out. Ding. Wishing success. Lin Bifan suddenly felt a little cold. Humans are warm-blooded animals, and the normal temperature of the human body is generally maintained between 36 degrees and 37 degrees. If it is lower or higher than this temperature, it will be abnormal. Below 35 degrees, it is already called hypothermia. Below 32 degrees, it is already considered a relatively serious hypothermia. He now wishes that the temperature has dropped by 3 degrees, and his body temperature has reached between 33 and 34 degrees, which is barely bearable. Don't know what to do with the other person. And still in such a dangerous formation for an hour. Lin Bifan suddenly had some anticipation. At this moment, a gust of wind suddenly blew, and the door of Lin Bifan's office slammed shut. Angkor, who was working in the house, didn't care either. If the door is closed, it will be closed, and if it is opened, it will be fine. Can it be locked inside? At this time, his eyes are always looking at the air conditioner next to him, his eyes flickering. Let's just. I'll lower the temperature by 2 degrees to increase the chill here. In this way, the effect of the formation should be more obvious. As soon as he said it, he immediately lowered the temperature of the air conditioner by 2 degrees to 20 degrees. The air conditioner released strong cold air that made him shiver all over. But he screamed happily, his whole body trembling with excitement. Cool. It's the smell. It's the feeling. Lin Bifan, will you die this time? 22. At this time, the cold air from the air conditioner blew on him again, causing him to shiver and get goosebumps. At the same time, he also felt a hot air tumbling in his body. This shows that the formation has begun to play a role, and it has already acted on him. He laughed happily. The effect is really obvious. This is sour and refreshing, it is unimaginable. Hurry up to work, leave immediately after finishing the work, and must not stay. So, work hard right away. It took less than 5 minutes to clean Lin Bifan's table and cabinets. And he himself was shivering and dizzy. However, he laughed even more happily, and the whole person was beaming and high-spirited. Haha. Lin Bifan, I can't stay here for more than 5 minutes, let alone you. Come on, I can't wait to see your ugly appearance. Blowing a relaxed and pleasant whistle, he reached for the handle of the door and twisted it lightly. The door lock made a sound, but the door didn't open. He didn't care, and twisted again in the other direction. It was another noise, but the door still didn't open. He still didn't care. Isn't it locked? Pulling the door lock, feeling that there is no problem, then twisting the handle again. The door lock is still not open. Change direction and twist again, the door lock still does not open. Angkor was a little panicked. What's going on? Why can't I open it? Could it be that the door lock is broken? He twisted a few more times, and finally determined that the door lock was broken. He patted the door quickly and shouted loudly. Is there anyone? The door lock is broken, can someone open it from the outside? Hearing the movement, all the colleagues gathered around. What happened, Xiao Wu? What's wrong, Xiao Wu? Angkor said anxiously. I was cleaning here just now, but I couldn't open the door when I went out. I suspect that the door lock is broken, can you help? It's not necessarily that the door lock is broken, it may be that the door is locked. An office clerk said, very experienced. Our door lock here is relatively safe. As long as the door is locked with a key, it cannot be opened inside. Maybe when President Lin left just now, he locked it. Angkor said anxiously. Then go and invite President Lin to open the door. A person whispered. Go to President Lin. I noticed just now that President Lin seems to have gone to Lu Mi's office. Everyone knows that the President and Lin Liumi are very close, and the two have an unclear relationship. They are still in the same room, and it may not be the right time to disturb them now. Everyone is fine, so I won't mention this one. Go to the office has the keys to all the doors, cried one. Angkor said happily. Yes, go to the office. After speaking, he sneezed. Not long after, the chief of staff came with the keys. In the expectation of Angkor, he inserted the key into the keyhole and slammed it twice, but the door still could not be opened. The director of the office spread out his hands. Now it is absolutely certain that the door lock is broken. Angkor was dumbfounded. What should I do? Office director. I can only go and ask for a locksmith. Angkor looked forward with a hint of hope. Are you fast? The director of the office shook his head. I don't know. It depends on whether the other party lives close or not, and if he is busy or not. Of course, if he is close and he is not busy, of course he can come over quickly. So I may not be sure about this. I guess it will take an hour at the earliest. 1 hour. Angkor's face turned green. Xiao Wu, it's only been an hour, and it'll be over soon. It happened for a reason, and everyone understands you. Just take a rest, feel the fish and go. Everyone was comforted. But Angkor is so anxious, how can he not be anxious? He has set up a very dangerous 5 elements Lihuo formation here, and he has also increased the amount of the 5 elements Lihuo formation. In less than an hour, it only took half an hour to cause damage to his body. However, this cannot be said, so he made an excuse. But, I want to go to the toilet. There is a toilet in Mr. Lin's office. If you are in a hurry, use it first and clean it up afterwards. This excuse does not work, find another excuse. I'm hungry and want something to eat. Here's a chocolate bar, I'll shove it through the door for you, and then. Third excuse. 2 minutes later, he looked at the pile of things around him, and his face turned black. Colleagues are so enthusiastic, their enthusiasm is killing him. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, okay, I'm not in a hurry. That's right. What's the hurry? The office director joked. Xiao Wu, fortunately, you bumped into this. If Mr. Lin was trapped inside, the consequences would be unimaginable. You helped us set up a great work. Yeah, luckily it's you. Although Mr. Lin is good at talking, Lu Mi is not good at talking, and he will get angry and kill people. You have done a great service for us, and I will invite you to dinner. An hour goes by quickly, stay tuned. Everyone laughed happily. Angkor is cold. The great formation that I carefully arranged, instead of trapping the enemy, it trapped myself. These words of comfort, not only did not achieve the effect of comfort, it was like a soft knife stuck in his chest. Knives are bloody, but I still have a smile on my face. TMD. What the hell is this? At this moment, he really wanted to roar at the sky. Where is the law of heaven? No, it's too cold, so turn off the air conditioner first. Otherwise, in a few minutes, my body will have a problem. He grabbed the remote control of the air conditioner and turned off the air conditioner. Also opened the windows to let the cold air out of the room quickly. But finally found, TMD. Why is it still so cold? Mouth. He folded his hands on his shoulders, trembling all over his body. Looking at the phone, I found that the current temperature is about 32 degrees, which is a slightly hot weather. Just exercising outside can make you sweat. However, in such an environment, he still feels very cold. Is there no problem with your body? At this moment, heat surged up in the body. It clashed with the cold air in his body, as if they were fighting for territory. The body is hot and cold, alternating hot and cold. It's like cultivating the legendary inner strength method. Angkor was extremely tormented, and felt that his internal organs were particularly uncomfortable. Then, he finally went crazy, and a stream of heat rushed to his head. Angkor's face turned green. It's over. something really went wrong. With a loud bang, he quickly rushed into the toilet. 23, buried his head in the wash basin, and was ready to go. Puff, 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 connected with 3 cavities of blood, sprayed out from the nostrils. Spray the wash basin all over. It's much more comfortable. Angkor turned on the faucet, rinsed off the nosebleed, and walked out of the bathroom slowly. As a result, in less than 2 minutes, he rushed back. Puff, puff, 2 more nosebleeds spewed out. He walked out of the bathroom slowly again. His body continued to alternate between hot and cold, blood rushed to his head again, and he couldn't help rushing into the bathroom again, sticking his head into the wash basin. Puff, puff, 2 more nosebleeds disappeared. Then, basically every few minutes, he has to flush the toilet. In the first 10 minutes, he could still take it. 41, it's just spraying some nosebleeds. I'm young and strong, so I should boost my metabolism. But after 20 minutes, his face turned pale. It's 100 cc, it's okay. After half an hour, his face turned even paler. 200 cc, donate blood to the country. After 40 minutes, his complexion had some cyan in front of him. It's 300 cc, and the blood donation is a bit too much, but it's still manageable. After 50 minutes, he was already vain in walking, top heavy, taking 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. 400 cc, almost got it. An hour later, he was almost in the wash basin. Looking at myself, who was still bleeding from the nose in the mirror, I felt desperate. Big brother, please stop spraying. It's already 500 cc, spray me again. I'm going to be anemic. After 70 minutes, he was dizzy and unable to stand still. F***CKs. Why haven't you opened the door yet? If you don't open the door, I'm really going to die here. With a wry smile in my heart, I feel that I may die here due to anemia. What's even more irritating is that this pit was buried by myself. 80 minutes later, after he sprayed another 100 cc of nosebleed, the door finally opened with a bang. He was overjoyed that he was finally saved. Immediately clean up the blood on the face in the wash basin, and then flush out. He has only one thought now, to eat a lot of supplements immediately after going out to make up all the lost blood. As a result, because of excessive ischemia, the body was dizzy, and the limbs were weak and fell down. Mother Lu was very worried and quickly helped Angkor up. Xiao Wu. Why did you suddenly fall down? Oh. Why is your face so white? Lying in Lu Ma's arms, Angkor felt unprecedented warmth and peace of mind, and was about to explain. Lu Ma, Puff, a nosebleed spurted out and splattered on Lu Ma's body. Angkor. Mama Lu. Silent. The people who came one after another, silent. Lin Bifan came up, blinked, and asked, we're here. Isn't it time? Angkor. Silent. Puff, another nosebleed spurted out. On the same day, there was a lot of excitement in the company, and a lace news came out. Have you heard? Xiao Wu is lying in Lu Ma's arms with a nosebleed. I suspect that Xiao Wu may like Lu Ma. Which little Wu? The cleaning Xiao Wu who just came here. It's him. What's wrong with him? Why is he lying in Lu's mother's arms, and why does he have a nosebleed? At that time, Xiao Wu was trapped in Mr. Lin's office and couldn't get out. The door opened, and he first ran towards Lu's mother. Later, he fell down for no apparent reason, but was lifted up by Lu's mother. In the end, because it was near, he got a nosebleed at the touch of a distance. Damn it. That's a nosebleed. Xiao Wu is too young, he can't stand the temptation. Besides, Mama Lu is so old that she can be a *king person, yet he still. Did you make a mistake? How could there be a mistake? A dozen people saw it at that time, and even President Lin saw it. Maybe some people like this, such as Xiao Wu. And I heard that his legs were weak and he couldn't walk. Hey. Angkor, who is eavesdropping, PFF'd. He really wanted to explain a few words. He was not spraying nosebleeds because of that or something, but because he was hit by the formation he buried, and his blood was surging, but I'm afraid no one would believe it. Forget it. Let's pass it on, this matter will be over soon. At this time, Mama Lu walked in with a broom and asked with concern, Xiao Wu, are you having any physical problems? Yesterday, I had so many nosebleeds and my face was so pale, it scared me to death. Angkor explained. Lu Ma, I got angry yesterday, so my nose bleeds. It turns out that I'm angry, then I'm relieved. But your face is still so pale, do you want to take another day off? No, it's just a small problem. Okay, since it's all right, let's go to work. Lu Ma handed over the broom. Seeing Lu Ma's face as usual, Angkor finally felt relieved. Then, began the day's cleaning work. At the same time, he was silently planning the next revenge plan in his heart. The 5 elements fire formation can't be used anymore. If 2 people in the same room have the same symptoms and problems, normal people know there is a problem. Lin Bifan is so smart, it's impossible not to notice it. So, I have to change to another formation, a more hidden formation. So, this time I used 6 elephant fascination formation. Angkor smiled proudly. This formation can stimulate the most primitive desires of human beings, make people fall into love, be fascinated by their minds, and lose their minds. In this way, he will definitely mess up. As long as he messes up, it can just destroy his reputation in everyone's minds. Image. If you prepare something, expose him, and ensure that it will be ridden with negativity. Hee. Thinking of this, he couldn't wait to act. You're done. A day later, Angkor looked at his masterpiece and was very happy. Once this formation starts, within half an hour, Lin Bifan, you will fall into a state of disorientation, insane, regardless of gender, and you will be full of ugliness. At that time, you will definitely destroy your reputation in everyone's minds. Image. If the circumstances are serious, you may even be thrown into prison, just like you did to me back then. Angkor opened his hand, and there was a small thing in his hand. And this, the pinhole camera. Angkor smiled proudly. I will record your ugly state again, and promise to be famous all over the world, and it will become a stain that you will never wash away in your life, even a shame. Saying that, he secretly put the pinhole camera on his collar. When the situation arises, I rushed to record it as soon as possible. In order not to miss the good show, he lingered in the vicinity of Lin Bifan's office to clean up, waiting for an opportunity. At this moment, Lin Bifan's door opened. He waved to him. Xiao Wu, come here. Mr. Lin. What's the matter? My bathroom is a little dirty, come and help me clean it up, thank you. No problem, Mr. Lin. Angkor walked into the bathroom and said, Mr. Lin, the bathroom is indeed dirty, but it needs special lotion to clean it up. The lotion is with Lu's mother, I'll go right now. Take. No need. You clean up first. I'll go out for a walk, and talk to Lu Ma by the way. Lin Bifan held a cup of tea, hummed music happily, and walked out of the office like a veteran cadre. Trouble boss Lin. Angkor called from behind. Nothing. Lin Bifan waved. After leaving the office, Lin Bifan closed the door, found Lu Ma, and explained the situation. Okay. I'll go right now. Seeing Lu's mother leaving, Lin Bifan came to Lu Rumei's office again. While admiring Lu Rumei's work, she silently made a wish. I make a wish. I will be trapped in the room for the next half an hour. If the spirit is negatively affected, the effect will be doubled. Let the storm come more violently. Ding. Wishing success. At this time, Angkor is seriously cleaning the bathroom. Although he was in the formation, he was not worried at all. Because it only takes 10 minutes to clean a bathroom, if there is a lotion, it will be faster. Get out of here after 10 minutes and you won't be affected. At this time, there was a knock on the door outside. Xiao Wu, the door is locked, you open the door. Lu Ma's voice. Okay, I'll be right here. Angkor came to the door and stretched out his hand to open it. As a result, the door still could not be opened with 2 bangs. There was a bad premonition in my heart. The door lock won't be broken again, will it? After trying it twice, it turned out to be the case, so she called out, Mother Lu, the door can't be opened, it may be locked. Go to Mr. Lin, or the office, and let them open the door. After a while, the director of the office spread out his hand with a bunch of keys. The key can't be opened, it seems to be broken again. Why is it broken again? Angkor was furious. After checking yesterday, it was found that it wasn't broken, so we didn't care. But this time, it won't work. It seems that the lock won't work if you don't change it. Xiao Wu, you can bear it inside. I'll call the locksmith to come over soon. Enough. Angkor almost fainted. At this time, his consciousness has gradually become a little awake, and he is a little confused. Then he slapped the slap fiercely and woke himself up. Hold on. An hour will do. Next, just like this, whenever he couldn't hold on, he slapped himself, or slapped his thigh hard to wake him up. Time passed by minute, and he persevered with strong perseverance. However, the mental state is very bad and may fall into it at any time. An hour later, the door finally opened with a bang. He kept the last trace of sobriety and rushed out. As a result, he bumped into the oncoming mother Lou. Both of them groaned and fell to the ground. With this collision, Angkor missed the last chance. He shook his head and stared at Lou's mother in front of him, with thick arms and short legs, a round head and a chubby mouth. How could he look so good-looking? At this moment, he was fascinated and felt that he was in love. So he quickly helped Lu Ma. "Baby, you are here." Lu Ma was stunned. "Xiao Wu, what did you call me just now?" Angkor said as a matter of course, "I call you baby." People around. Cough. Lu's mother was full of disgust. "Oh, I'm already old, you still call me baby. What's wrong with getting old? Can't you be called baby when you were old? When you were young, you were my little baby. When you were old, you were my old baby. No matter what, you will always be my baby." People around. Hey. Lu Ma's face was red and her ears were red, and she was shaking with anger. "Xiao Wu, if you talk nonsense again, I will be angry." Angkor looked confused. "I didn't talk nonsense, what I said was the truth." Lu Ma slapped her angrily. "Rogue." Then, after glancing at the stunned people around, he shyly ran away. Angkor chased after him. "Baby, don't go." On the same day, there was another lace news in the company. "Have you heard? Xiao Wu is chasing Lu's mother and calling them baby." 22. "I was just guessing before, but this time it's definitely a real hammer. While running, I called by, and the whole building heard it. When you were young, you were my little baby. When you were old, you were my old baby. Hey. So oily, I've never heard such oily love words," and goosebumps fell. "I don't even understand. How could the young and handsome Xiao Wu fall in love with Lu Ma? As long as you believe, true love is invincible." Silently eavesdropping on Angkor. PFF'd. At this moment, it is really comparable to a large-scale Shira scene. He touched his chest and felt very hurt. He didn't even know why a good thing would turn out like this. He set up the game twice, and both times he stepped on the pit. And it's a series of pits. The first time I jumped into Lu Ma's arms and sprayed nosebleeds, the second time I directly chased people and shouted baby. If it weren't for the belief in revenge that supported him, he would have no face to stay in the company. Shame. He picked up his mobile phone and watched the scenes captured by the pinhole camera. He couldn't help trembling all over, and his whole body was getting goosebumps. Hey, it's too oily. How can I be so oily? God. Destroyed. Must be destroyed. After shattering the pinhole camera, his thoughts finally got through. Feeling clean again. He said bitterly, "Lin Bifan, I let you escape twice. This time I will never let you escape." This time, he changed to a new formation. 7-star flame fusion formation. Angkor smiled proudly. "As long as you are in the 7-star flame fusion formation, the body will produce heat, the whole body will be unbearably hot, itching will be unbearable, and blisters will appear, eczema, etc. In severe cases, the skin will fester." This guy's face even made him jealous. Therefore, he came up with this formation, which made the opponent's skin fester and disfigure. "Okay. Will you die this time?" He clapped his hands and looked at his masterpiece with satisfaction. At this moment, he remembered the unbearable memories of the previous 2 times. Wait, it has to be adjusted again. It took a little more time. That's no problem. After all the powers of the formations are concentrated, they no longer cover the entire office, but are directly aimed at the position of the president made by Lin Bifan. In this way, the power has become stronger, and the effect may take less than 15 minutes. Furthermore, when I accidentally close it, I won't get caught in it again. At least, there is room to hide. This time, he was really satisfied. No more cocooning. At this time, Lin Bei walked out of Fan's office and waved to him. "Xiao Wu, come to my office with Mama Lu. I have something important to tell you." In less than a moment, Lu's mother also came. Angkor was a little unnatural. This was the first time I saw Lu Ma since that day. Because since that day, the two have avoided each other. Especially Angkor, when he thinks of what happened that day, he is embarrassed. Lin Bifan took a sip of tea and said, "Okay, don't hesitate, sit down." The two nodded. Lin Bifan pointed to two positions separately. Xiao Wu, you sit here, Lu Ma sits. Angkor glanced at the position where he was sitting, a little confused. Because of this position, it is right at the entrance of the negative aura of the formation. It means that once he sits down, he will help Lin Bifan to prevent disasters, and all the negative aura of the formation will act on him. So, he hesitated. This. Lin Bifan looked at him in astonishment. Why don't you just sit down? I don't really like sitting here. Why don't you change places with Lu Ma? Angkor was ashamed of Lu Ma, and if Lu Ma was to bear all this, he would be ashamed to death. So he immediately sat down. I'll still sit here. That's right. Lin Bifan smiled slightly, then silently made a wish. I make a wish. In the next 30 minutes, all the negative effects on the body will be increased by 10 times. Ding. Wishing success. Lin Bifan's expression remained unchanged. However, a certain person feels a little cancerous and can't sit still. Smile in your heart. Don't you? The effect of this formation method is too fierce, and the effect is so fast. I just sat down. Xiao Wu, don't move around, sit down for me. Lin Bifan criticized with a serious face. Yes, Mr. Lin. Angkor endured. I secretly said in my heart, bear it for a while, and it will pass. Lin Bifan took another sip of tea, then put the tea aside, clasped the fingers of both hands, and said, I called you in, it's about that day. The expressions of the two of them became very unnatural. Xiao Wu, it's not that I want to criticize you. Lin Bifan knocked on the table and said bitterly, although, I don't discriminate against your view of love, nor do I object to office romance, but your love is too wild, love too unrestrained, and love is too nasty. During work hours, I openly pursued Lu Ma, and I even screamed intimately with each baby, shouting. Lin Bifan squirted and shook his head. To be honest, a normal person can't stand it anymore, it's hard to swallow. Angkor bowed his head in shame, and I could hardly swallow. You can call these intimate names in private. Your love, just talk in private. In short, don't bring it into the company. Because you do this, it will destroy the atmosphere of the company. You say I will punish you, but everyone has the freedom to fall in love. If you don't punish, what should everyone do? What kind of system? Are you right? Lin Bifan said earnestly. Angkor raised his head. Mr. Lin, if you want to punish you, punish me. All the mistakes are my own fault and have nothing to do with Lu Ma. You still have a bit of a man's responsibility. Lin Bifan nodded slightly. However, I still have to criticize you severely. Because you are young, impulsive, and easy to detour. Now, I'm going to start criticizing. Sit me down, don't move around. 99. Yes, Mr. Lin. Next, Lin Bifan began to criticize. Even talking for 10 minutes, not a word is repeated. However, Angkor was miserable. Under the action of the array, the whole body is hot and itching is unbearable. Like sitting on pins and needles, like a on the back, like a stem in the throat. When I opened my sleeves, I saw that several blisters had appeared. And his back was facing the formation, absorbing the most negative effects, and it was unbearably itchy. His heart was full of anger. Damn it! How can I bear all this? Don't move around, sit down. I'm criticizing you now, you should listen to the lecture humbly, and then reflect on your mistakes, Lin Fan said solemnly. Even Lu Ma couldn't help but say, Little Wu, sit down and listen carefully, Mr. Lin is doing it for you too. But Mr. Lin, I'm in a hurry, I want to go out. Don't make excuses for me. Whether you want to listen or not, give me another 20 minutes. If you can't stand it for even 20 minutes, then you don't have to do it here. Angkor decided to take revenge. So, Lin Bifan criticized for another 10 minutes. Every minute and every second, Angkor was extremely tormented, comparable to Ling Kai. Have you heard of laughing? It's just scratching people's itch, making people unable to stop, a very cruel punishment. This is the one in front of you. And the effect is magnified 10 times. Lin Bifan was very happy to see this small appearance of suffering and pain. At this moment, Lin Bifan's cell phone rang. Lin Bifan stood up. I'm going out to answer a phone call, and you wait here for me. If you come back and don't see you, the consequences will be serious, you know. Got it, Mr. Lin. When Lin Bifan left, Angkor immediately jumped out of his original position. His hands tickled quickly all over his body, like a monkey. Lu Ma was stunned. Xiao Wu, What are you doing? Angkor's eyes lit up. Mother Lu, can you do me a favor? Mother Lu. What are you busy with? My back is itchy, can you give me a scratch? Okay. Where to scratch? Here, here. Mom Lu, be stronger. My strength is already the greatest, and I have already bleed, there is nothing I can do. Wait. Angkor snorted, took off his shirt, revealing his sturdy upper body. Mother Lu, please continue. Lu Mama sighed. Rogue. Then hide his face and run away. Angkor. East, Lin Bifan happened to walk in with a few colleagues and was stunned when he saw this scene. What's going on? Angkor topless. Back bleeding from fingernails. And Lu Ma, who ran away in embarrassment and that scream just now. In everyone's mind, a very complete picture is formed. Angkor. Hey. Lin's investment company has another tidbit of news. Have you heard that Xiao Wu used force against Lu Ma in President Lin's office? Really, fake. Even if you like it, you can't do such a thing, right? And it's still in Mr. Lin's office. I don't think Xiao Wu is such a person at all. How could it be fake? Several people saw it at the time. And I also heard a voice in the distance. After the hooligan, I saw Lu's mother running over in a panic. And at that time, Xiao Wu took off his shirt, and his back was covered with Lu's mother's scratches, and he was bleeding. You said, under what circumstances would such a thing happen? You don't need to say more. I have a sense of the picture. I didn't expect Xiao Wu to be such a person. He really knows the person in the face but not the heart. I really misunderstood him. I didn't expect him to be so anxious, and he's still in Mr. Lin's office. What a young man. How could he do such a thing? Where's Xiao Wu? Has he been arrested? Not yet, he is staying in Mr. Lin's office now. In Lin Baifan's office, two men were sitting face to face, looking at each other silently. Angkor's mood is very complicated. He couldn't understand. It was obviously a very simple and ordinary thing. How did it evolve into this? I didn't do anything, and I was clearly innocent, but I was mistaken by others as a rapist. Please, even if I use force, I won't use force against Lu Ma. She looks like that, and she can't do it herself at all. No more talking. I originally came here to take revenge, but I haven't done it yet. My image has been shattered, and my integrity has been ruined. Thinking of the recent bad experience, he fell into deep thought. Have you been dropped by someone? Lin Baifan's mood is also very complicated. He swore that it had nothing to do with him this time. He was innocent throughout the whole process, he just asked the other party to block him. As a result, he left for a while, and such a heinous and unbelievable thing happened. Right in your own office. Right under your nose. So can't wait. Thinking of the two previous encounters, both have something to do with Lu Ma. Could it be that Angkor likes women with this taste? No wonder he didn't see any woman in his previous life. Because the protagonist. The taste is too heavy. Both were silent. In the end, it was Lin Bifan who spoke first, with a very heavy tone. Xiao Wu. I didn't expect that. I left for a while, and I went out to answer a phone call. In less than 3 minutes, you actually did such a thing. In my office, you actually did something like this. Dare to use force against Mama Lu. Even if you like Lu Ma, no matter how anxious you are, you don't have to be so anxious, right? You can't bear it for 3 minutes. Is this a distortion of human nature, or a loss of morality? Angkor. Angkor said quickly. Mr. Lin, listen to me, things are not like this. Lin Bifan waved his hand. You don't need to explain, the situation is already very clear. No matter how much you explain, it will be so pale and insignificant in front of the scene. Xiao Wu, let me tell you, this kind of behavior is illegal, and it is totally illegal. It's illegal, you know. If Mother Lu sues you, you will definitely go in. Angkor was even more anxious. But I'm really innocent. At that time, my back was itchy, so I wanted my mother to scratch it for me. I said I wanted to go up to make it easier for her to scratch me. Lin Bifan chuckled. Xiao Wu, your excuse is really bad. Do you need to scratch your skin to scratch a tick? Do you need to take off your clothes to scratch a tick? Do you think you are too smart, or are we too stupid? Angkor opened his mouth, but was speechless. I really can't explain this. Could it be that you put yourself in a formation to deal with Lin Bifan, and finally gave yourself a pit? He promises to say it himself, and he will die faster. The enemy in front of you don't look at Xiao Mimi. but she is actually a smiling tiger, never letting go of the enemy. Finally, speechless, he lowered his head in frustration. As for your innocence, it's not you who has the final say, and it's not us who has the final say, it's Lu Ma who has the final say. Angkor murmured. Lu Ma. Fortunately, Lu Ma has a good side, Lin Bifan said in a slightly tone. She said that she should let go of the past, but she used your excuse to say that she was really scratching your back, and the scene was just a misunderstanding. Silent. This is no excuse, it is the truth. Lin Bifan went on to say. Look, how good Lu's mother is to you, she is trying to excuse you, she has endured everything silently, and how did you treat others? Are you worthy of them? Angkor. I'm sorry. He implicated Mama Lu 3 times in a row, and he was really very guilty of Mama Lu. Originally, I wanted to fire you, but Mama Lu begged for mercy. She said that you were young and energetic and not very sensible. That's why you made a mistake that a man would make. Judging from Mama Lu's dedication over the years, I have let go of it. But next time, don't blame me for being rude, Lin Bifan said sternly. Thank you, Mr. Lin. Angkor was so grateful. It should be Mama Lu who you want to thank. Lin Bifan sighed. Be kind to Mama Lu. Angkor. Huh? He thought it was a little weird. On the second day, he saw Lu's mother and was about to go to apologize. But I found that Lu Ma was a little different today. In the past, she wore relatively simple clothes, and her long hair was casually caught behind her head, and she looked like a wet market ant. But today, there are a lot of gorgeous dresses, like square dance aunts. The hair also seems to have been permed and dyed, and there is a big bang, and the overall look is several years younger. Moreover, the other party's spirit is very good. Mother Lu, you're here. Angkor stepped forward to greet him. Xiao Wu, you're here too. It's really early today. Young man, you look good. Mama Lu came over with a hearty laugh. Angkor gritted his teeth and said, Mother Lu, I want to apologize to you about what happened yesterday. Lu Ma waved her hand casually. Don't talk about these, those are all things in the past, let him go. We still get along like before. Angkor secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Lu Ma is still the kind Lu Ma. Xiao Wu. I'm asking you a few questions now, you have to answer me honestly. Okay, no problem. Don't say a few questions, just dozens of questions, I will answer them honestly. Angkor promised. Lu Ma showed her clothes. Xiao Wu, what do you think of Lu Ma's clothes? Angkor nodded immediately. Good looking. Lu Ma looks good in anything. Mama Lu smiled and pointed to her hair. Xiao Wu, how about my newly dyed hair? Angkor nodded again immediately. Pretty. Mama Lu, you look beautiful in whatever hair you dye. No matter why the other party says it is good, it is absolutely right to praise people anyway, everyone loves to hear it. Your little mouth is so sweet. Lu Mama turned around happily, and said with 3 points of shyness, 3 points of anticipation, and 4 points of focus. Then. Do you like the current Mama Lu? Angkor. Huh? Angkor was dumbfounded, always feeling that something was wrong. Mom. What do you mean? Angkor shook his head. Not right. Mama Lu. What do you mean? I don't understand. Don't you understand what I mean? Are you pretending to be garlic for me? Lu Ma said angrily. Lu Ma, I have all come here, and 3 of the men I dealt with have died, so why can't I fix it? Do you understand how you felt when you were a child? But, I really don't understand. Angkor shook his head. You pretended to be me. In fact, I've already thought about it clearly. Isn't what you've done these days just to attract my attention? Isn't it just to? Mama Lu bowed her head shyly. Get my love. This sentence is called the strongest greasy crit in history. Angkor was endowed with nausea. Shaking his head sharply. I'm not. Don't talk nonsense. Are you pretending to be me? You were so brave and shameless before, but now you are pretending to be pure. Mama Lu looks like I've seen through you. Angkor said with a desire to survive. I really don't, there is a misunderstanding in this. Lu Ma ignored it, but lowered her head shyly. Actually, the first time I saw you, I was a little bit moved by you, because you look very much like my husband who has been dead for many years. Angkor. Ia 1/4 TMD. How does it feel like a curse word? But considering the age gap between us, it's not suitable for us to be together, so this mind is extinguished. Lu Ma sighed. Angkor nodded again and again. It's good to go out, you shouldn't have fantasies in your life. But. Lu Ma raised her head bravely. Your sincerity and persistence touched me. Angkor. F*K. Lu Ma came over bravely. That day, you actually fell into my arms and bleeds from your nose. That day, you dared to call me baby in front of so many people. That day, you were in Mr. Lin's office. In the office, treating me impatiently. Do you know how moved I am? Angkor. I suck. At the time, I thought, it's worth it to marry such a bold and sweet-talking man who can win me anytime, anywhere. Lu Ma was shy again. Vomit. Angkor said anxiously. Lu Ma, listen to me. All this is a misunderstanding and a coincidence. The so-called coincidences are all your long-planned encounters. Lu Ma dinged. Xiao Wu, don't call me mother in the future. I'm only 30 years older than you, so you can call me sister. Angkor. F*K. There's a word to say. Lu's mother fell into deep thought. Female junior year, hold the golden bricks. Women's college. Angkor was expressionless. Send the country. Xiao Wu, you were right. Mama Lu smiled from ear to ear. Sister Lu, although I don't have the wealth of Wang Guan, but I have a son who is very filial, and he will definitely honor you well. Angkor. F*K. Lu's mother imagined the future. Also, in a few years, I will be able to receive my pension. Let's have a good life, bring grandchildren to our children, and enjoy family happiness. What a beautiful day to go to square dance when you have time. Angkor. I'm groovy. However, when you go to the square dance, you kid give me snacks. Don't seduce other old ladies for me. The old man won't let you go. Angkor. PFF'd. A 10-year-old old lady, even if I have the heart. TMD. How could I possibly have this thought? He touched his chest. I feel so sad today. How did this happen? A bright and delicious little fresh meat in his 20s was actually cheated on by an old ant in his 50s. He thinks he can't stand still. He felt that he could still struggle. Lu Ma. Also called Lu Ma. Called sister. Or just call me baby. Silent. I'll call you Sister Lu. Angkor said anxiously. Sister Lu, it's really not suitable for us to be together. Even if you agree, your son will not agree. No, I agree. A voice came from a distance. Turning his head to look, a tall man about 30 years old walked over. This is my son, Dachin. Lu's mother smiled and walked over to introduce. Dachin, this is your Uncle Wu, and your mother's old friend. Call me Uncle. Hello, Uncle? Dachin said in a loud voice. Angkor, silent. Angkor's face twitched as he looked at Dachin, who could be his brother in front of him. The sound of uncle made him very uncomfortable. However, now was not the time to wrestle with these little things. Dachin, why did you agree with me and your mother? Dachin. I originally disagreed. Angkor rejoiced. That's right. But Mr. Lin has done my ideological work. Angkor. He said, my mother is already very old and needs someone to take care of me. And when I grow up, sooner or later, I will have to marry a wife and have children, and form another family. It is impossible to take care of my mother for the rest of my life. But, you're different. You can't wait to get my mother, and even do such shameless things at your own expense. It shows that you like my mother very much and will definitely take good care of her. Angkor. Dachin said with a smile. He also said, if my mother is with you, you don't have to worry about what's behind you. You are so young and in good health, you can not only send my mother away, maybe even me. And I saw you and found you really like my long-dead dad. Angkor. Silent. This shit can't go away, can it? Dachin said sadly. My dad died 23 years ago, when I was only 7 years old, and I hadn't weaned yet. Angkor. Silent. It's a bit late, but he just left, leaving us mother and son. Let us live alone for more than 20 years, woo woo. Dachin cried, and Lu Ma shook her head. Angkor, my condolences and change. But uncle, since I saw you, I'm not sad anymore. Dachin wiped away the tears that didn't exist, raised his head, and said expectantly. Because uncle, you look so much like my dad, it's almost like a mold. And you're just 23 years old. Maybe my dad was reincarnated and came back to take care of my mom this time. So, can I call you dad? Angkor instantly turned green. Shit. Dachin, are you too impatient? I take you as a nephew, but you want to be my father, more anxious than your mother.